Hello, traders. Welcome back to another episode of looking at the support and resistance that we have right now and what is the plan for tomorrow, which will be October the 3rd. As always, if you're liking the content of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and click on the notification icon. In the description below, you will find the read-only links to all the charts that we will be discussing right now. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as the Facebook page, and you are very welcome to join there. Let us get back to the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart, we now have a developing bear bar, but then we came down very close to this monthly support at 5721, but we could not break the 5724 line and we bounced exactly from there. And from there, we actually went up 40 to 45 points. So at this point of time, this will still remain to be a major support. If we are breaking it down on the monthly chart, we can see this 5667 area. But then again, there will be some support areas in between on the lower time frames that we will be taking a look at. On the upside, we will have to see that if we are able to come to this 5806 area, take that out, and then we will try to see if we are getting to this 5814 and then finally to this high of the last month, and then we will see if we are getting a breakout. At this point of time, the market is still bullish. This is just a pullback that is happening. We have started a new month. We are in the middle of the week. So as long as the week at least does not end, we will not be able to comment on where the price is going based on these charts. Now, again, looking at the monthly ATR, the last month the ATR ended at 417 points. And if price wants to drop from this particular high around 58.20, then at that point of time, our 400 points will be somewhere around the 5421 area, right? And if the price wants to go up 400 points from this particular low, then at that point, we will find ourselves somewhere close to the 6127 areas. So which means we will be getting to that 6,000 target that we have been talking about for months right now. That is all that we have on the monthly chart at this point of time. Let us now go and take a look at the weekly chart. Now on the upside, these are the different resistances that we have: the 5784, the 5792 area, and then the 5797 area. And if we can break it out, we can again come back to this 582122 area, back to the 5829, and then we can move up higher. Based on the last week's ATR that we had, the upside target for the bulls can be at 5864 at 140 points from this particular low. And if the bears get strong and it is breaking this down on the downside, at that point of time, we may actually come and hit this 5682 area, which will be 140 points downside from this particular top. However, at this point of time, I want to see that the price is getting above this 84 area, which is the open of the week, holding that and then crossing above this 5792 to the 97 area, and then we will see if we are able to get to that 5810 to the 13 area and back to the 22 area again. And if that does not happen, if we continue to stay in a trading range, then at that point of time, we will have to see that if tomorrow we are breaking down the 60 area and this 47 area as well, then we can very much come down to the 30 to 33 area, break down this 24 and keep coming down. We have to keep in mind that the break of this 24 will be a very important break for the bears, and they may actually bring the price down a lot, maybe to the 5702 area, maybe to the 5712 area, and then to this particular line at 5691, and then we can get to this 5682 as the bear target. I would also keep this particular trend line on the chart right now, and if you see that 2421 area is actually the place where this trend line will break down, so we may find support there again between the 18 to 21 area, and then if we see we are getting above the 3031 area again, that will be another failed breakdown. Otherwise, if we are breaking this down, then we can come to the lower 5700s. These are the major support and resistance areas on this particular weekly time frame at this point of time. So let us now get on to the daily chart and see what do we have. Now, looking at the daily chart, we do have this mother bar still. We came down to the daily EMA today at the 5624 area and we bounced from there. The 5779 is the 50% of that mother bar. So, if we can get above that 80 to the 82 area, the 5780 to the 82 area, or maybe this 5785 area, then there is a big chance that we can get to this 5797 to the 99 area, get above to the 5804, and then we will see if we are able to get above this 5807, which is the open of this daily mother bar, and get to its top at 5820, and then we will see if we are getting to the extensions on the upside. As of now, the price is in this kind of expanding triangle, and if you see, this was one leg up and this was one leg down. So if the price is in an expanding triangle, as long as it does not break out, there can be around 5 to 7 legs traveling between these areas. So we will have to be careful when the price comes and touches the top here. We do not know how many days it will take to get to the top, or whether it will get to the top at all. That only time will say. But these are the major areas that we have on the daily chart at this point, and we will have to see how price is unfolding. I would say this 85 to the 80 area, this will be the midpoint of this expanding triangle, and we will have a measured move to the upside or the downside once the price breaks these areas down. Again, we know that this 2-4 area is a major support. So if we are breaking it down, we can actually get a 1:1 of this mother bar to the downside. But then we have 5720 to 5715 providing very good support on the daily chart, failing which we can come to this breakout area at 5703, and below that we can actually see from 5693 to the 5686 area. Here is where we will have the completion of the weekly ATR. However, if the ATR fails and we continue to keep going down, then we can see this 5677 area and subsequently come down somewhere to 5662 to the 55 areas once again. The daily ATR ended today around 60 points. So if the price wants to do 60 points from the close of today, then that can actually bring us to the all-time high that we have. And on the other side, if the price wants to do 60 points to the downside from this particular top, then it will bring us back to somewhere close to the lower 5700s, and the 60 points will end at somewhere at 5713. So we know that the 13 line is a generic area of support and resistance and is normally very strong. So it is also possible that we are coming down here, we are breaking down this particular expanding triangle bottom, but then again it may bounce from here, get back into the expanding triangle and keep going to the upside. Now if we are counting the legs after this first high, this was the first entry shot and then we went back up. This was the second entry shot that happened. We came below the second entry shot, but that did not hold and we have gone back up again. Now if we keep getting higher, we get to the 5807 and then maybe to the 5820. At that point of time, the second entry short will become irrelevant and the price may actually keep moving higher, or we will be in this trading range within this expanding triangle for some time before the price finally breaks out. Now, while counting legs on the bullish side, you will see that once we had this new low created, this was the first entry long. We came down below the first entry long, and this has now presented ourselves with the second entry long at this point of time. But the problem is we are so high and we have been going up for so many days. It is possible that we will have a two-legged pullback based on this wedge that we had. So if you see on this particular wedge, we did have this first leg down, we went back up, we had the second leg down. So the two-legged pullback is practically done on this particular daily chart. And now if this is the second entry long and the price can get above this 5780 to the 5785 area, I see a good opportunity for the bulls to try the levels to the upside. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart, you will see that this was the first leg down. We had the second leg down till here. Then there was a pullback and we had a third leg down here as well. And finally, we had the fourth leg down. We have this particular wedge created at this point of time, and from here the price has bounced. So it is possible that if we are able to get above this 20 EMA, we can actually get a measured move to the upside, and that measured move can actually bring us to the 5797 area again, which we also saw on a higher time frame. However, it is also possible that since this 4-hour move was in a very tight channel, the price may want to come down again, and based on when we are coming down, we may find some support on this particular wedge line as well. I will also keep this upper channel line on the 4-hour chart and see that if we are getting rejected from here, or at least from the 20 EMA, we can even get back above the 20 EMA and fall below this 5763 line and keep coming down to make another touch on this particular wedge line. We do not know at what point it will touch that, but once it touches that, we may actually see that there may be a good bounce happening from this particular wedge line, especially because that will be the fourth touchdown on this particular wedge. And after this new high, again, we had this first leg down, we came back up, and we had the second leg down as well. Now, from this particular low, we are doing the first leg up. We have to see that if the price is able to cross over this 5774 area or the 5773 to the 75 area, which happens to be the 20 EMA on the 4-hour chart. And after that, the price may come to this the 82 to the 84 area. Above this 84 area is actually where we have this bearish body gap. Once we get inside this, the price may actually come and revisit this double bottom line at 5801. Above that 5801, we will have to see that if we are able to cross above this 5809 line, and then see that if we are able to get to the 5819 to the 22 area once again, and then reach the all-time high and keep going to the upside. Now, on the downside, if we are getting rejected from this 5773 area, then our first area of support will be the 5763 area, which was actually a resistance before we broke out of here. And below that, we can come back to this 5757 to the 5755 area, followed by the 5050 area, and then we can come down to these levels at 43 and 40. And then the same routine will follow. The next levels will be around the 30 to the 24 area, breaking down which we will come to the 18 to 21, and then maybe to the 13 to the 11 area, and finally to 5702, where there is a 4-hour double top breakout on the chart. And if we are breaking this down, then we will come to this area where we had a major support. This is between 5689 and 5674. Now, if this major support area is given up at this 5688 to the 5674 area, I am thinking that there will be another 20-30 points drop to the downside before we finally decide where the price is actually going to hold. One more idea is that since this was the breakout area and from here we went up to the 5830 line, if we are breaking this down finally, if we are breaking down this 5724 and we keep coming down, price may actually target this 5631 area as a 1:1 of this whole move upside, and it can totally reverse and come down to the 5631 area. So it is highly possible that once we come down from this 5724 and we keep coming down, and if the bears are strong enough, they can actually flip this whole length to the downside and bring us to the 563032 area, which will be a measured move of this particular trading range that we have on the downside. But before that, we will have to see, in order to reach this, we will have to see that we are breaking down this 567573 area, we are coming down to the 69 and the 55 area, and then finally we can get to the 31 area again in the 5600s. So having said that, let us now take a look at the 1-hour chart. Now, on the 1-hour chart, again, there is a very similar thing that is happening. After this new low, we got the first entry long, we came down. This was the second entry long. Although we had a pullback here, the second entry long actually held. We did not close below the low of that. And after that, we have gone up to the upside. If we are trying to see what the second entry long can take, where the second entry long can take us, this can actually take us to the 5780 line. It can also do a double top with this particular bar at the 578385 area, and then keep coming down again, and then get rejected from here, and then come and visit the 1-hour EMA once again. I will also keep this particular trend line on the 1-hour chart. So in case the price keeps on going up here, we do not know at what point the price will come and touch this. But if the price comes and touches this line, we will know that there may be some rejection that is happening on this particular line. So at this point of time, I will keep a box right here from 85 to A3 stating that this can be a good rejection area, this can be a sell zone, or it can just do a double top from here and keep coming down. Now, another possibility of a measured move is that since we move from 5624 to this 5670 area, a 1:1 of that particular move can actually bring us to the 5812 area, but that we will look at only after we cross above this 85, come to the 97, cross above that 5802. Then we will actually think about whether we are able to come and hit this 5812 area, which will be actually the top of this particular bar on the upside. It will also be prudent to keep this particular channel here on the 1 hour chart. This is the top line of the channel. This is the wedge line. So on the wedge line, we actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. So if we are breaking out of this channel at this point of time and we can get above this, we can actually easily get to the levels higher. And this target of 5811 will not be impossible for the bulls to achieve if they have a very good move to the upside. But on the downside, again, if we are breaking down this 5760 area or the 1 hour EMA right here, then we can come down to these lows again at 5750 or 51, and after that we can come and revisit the 5742 areas and then keep going down on these levels to the downside. However, if we are breaking this 5724 line to the downside, the first support it will find is at the 5718 area, and after the 5718 area, the price may actually come down to the 5711 to the 5706 area. This will be a very major line here. I will mark this as major at this point of time. And if you are breaking down this 5706 area, the next area of target will be at the bottom of this particular bar, which happens to be at 5698. And then we can slide down this micro gap that we have. This will be another important support area here between 5693 and 5690. If we are breaking down this, we can come to this 5687 and finally to this big support area that we have. This support area is again a very major support area because this is from where the move actually started and we started creating all these highs. So with that said, let us now take a look at the final piece of the puzzle, which is the 5-minute RTH chart. On the RTH 5-minute chart, these are several important trend lines that we have. We have to see that if we are getting above the 6869 area and then we can cross above the 7273 area, then there is a possibility that we can come to this big sell zone between 83 and 80. If we can get above this, if we can get above this micro gap, our next target will be the 5787 to the 5791 areas, and above that we can get to the 5793 and the 5798 areas as well. But my concern at this point of time is that it looks like we are in a bear flag. Although we have created kind of a bull channel here, the major play in here is this particular bear channel. So if we are falling below this 5760 areas, once again I will put a line there at this point of time at 5760. So if we are getting below this 5760 line, once again, the next area of support that we can find is at the 5756 area. And below this 5756 area, we can come down to this 5749 to the 5748 area. If we fail that, we will come back to this double bottom at 45, the 5745.75 line. Failing which, we can again come back. I will remove this line for now. Failing this, we can actually come back to the 5741 area, and after that we can get to this 37 to the 34 area, failing which we come down to the 24 line once again. Now, if this fall is happening, we will have to see whether we are coming and hitting this particular trend line on the downside, and then we will see that if we are matching up with the different areas on the higher time frames. For tomorrow, I will be thinking that overnight the bulls will stay in this kind of a trading range, and then in the morning we can actually break out from here and then do a 1:1 of this 5649 to the 5765, which is almost 15 points, and do a 15 points to the upside, come to the 5780 area. From here we can actually go up and hit these targets, or we can start coming down from here and stay in this trading range. At this point of time, if we come to the bottom of this trading range and we are breaking this down from this 50 area, we can actually get another 15 points to the downside, which will take us back to the 3-5 areas here once again, and then we will see if the price wants to break down to the 2-4 and farther down, or we are actually bouncing from here, and then we will have to decide what is the strength of this particular move and play based on that accordingly. Based on all these analysis, we will be back again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST to decide on the pre-market plan. If you want to join that call, the link to the Google Meet is given in the description below. This is where I will end this particular video for tonight, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the night, everyone. Bye.